Let's get started with our first big story, and it's a heated one. Middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis is talking major trash about none other than Khamzat Chimaev, and the internet is on fire because of it. The two have ignited a fierce verbal battle ahead of their anticipated showdown at UFC 319, and fans are loving every minute of the drama. It all started when Khamzat decided to poke fun at Dricus on social media. He posted a photo of Dricus alongside his team, but he didn't stop there. In classic Chimaev fashion, he took a jab by tagging Dricus and flooding the caption with donut emojis, followed by a laughing face. Now, the donut emoji might seem innocent to some, but in fight culture, it's often used to imply that someone is soft, round, or simply not taking training seriously. It's an indirect way of calling someone out, and Khamzat made sure the message was loud and clear. But Dricus Du Plessis didn't hold back. He fired back with a brutal response, saying, "Oh, would get you there, but there's no inbred emoji." That comment immediately sent shockwaves through the MMA world. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a full-on insult aimed at Khamzat's background, and fans on both sides exploded in the comment sections. Of course, that wasn't the end of it. A Khamzat fan account jumped into the conversation, throwing another jab at Dricus with the comment, "At least he knows who his father is?" It was an attempt to dig into Du Plessis' personal life, a low blow. But once again, Dricus didn't miss a beat. He clapped back with, "Yes, his older brother probably." That reply hit hard and showed that Du Plessis is more than ready to go to war, both inside and outside the octagon. Then things took an even more personal and controversial turn. Another fan, clearly looking to stir the pot, commented, "No grok needed. This gay fighter takes it in the cream from his coach." While many found this to be crossing the line, Dricus still replied, saying, "But at least not my." That response sparked debates all over Twitter and Reddit, with some praising his savage wit and others criticizing the direction the trash talk has taken. Now, what does all this mean for their fight at UFC 319? It means this isn't just a battle of skills anymore. It's personal. These two fighters are building serious bad blood, and when they finally step into the octagon, it's going to be explosive. The intensity has gone beyond your average pre-fight banter. This is emotional. This is psychological warfare. With every insult and reply, the hype around this fight grows. Fans aren't just excited to see who wins. They want to see who shuts the other up. One thing is clear. When the cage door closes, it won't just be about gold. It'll be about pride. The cage with both fighters. Former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker is weighing in on the upcoming clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis, and his take is getting a lot of attention. Why? Because Whittaker isn't just guessing. He's fought and lost to both men. That puts him in a rare position to offer a truly informed perspective. According to Whittaker, he believes Khamzat will be able to take Dricus down and control him, at least in the early stages of the fight. Whittaker praised Chimaev's explosive wrestling and relentless forward pressure, calling him one of the most dangerous fighters in the division, especially in the opening rounds. But it's not all praise. Whittaker also raised some serious questions about Khamzat's ability to maintain that high-pressure, grappling-heavy style over the course of a full 5-round title fight. That's where the matchup gets interesting. Whittaker explained it like this: "How do you stop his takedown?" He admitted, "I don't think Dricus will stop Khamzat's takedown. Trust me, it's kept me up at night. I've been running it back in my head, and it's like, there's a way, but it's tricky." Coming from someone who's been taken down and controlled by Khamzat, that's a serious endorsement of just how dominant Chimaev can be when he's fresh. Whittaker went on to say, "Once Khamzat gets his hands on you, once you back up to that fence, he's staying on you. He's relentless." But then came the critical point. Can he keep that up? Whittaker continued, "I believe Khamzat will get Dricus down. He'll control him, probably for an entire round. But if he can't finish him, what does he look like coming out in round 2? And let's say he does it again, and what does he look like coming out in round 3? That's where Whittaker pointed to the Usman fight, where Khamzat came out strong early, but noticeably slowed down as the fight went on. And that's where Dricus Du Plessis becomes dangerous. Whittaker gave him credit, saying, "Dricus has a gas tank. He's got that dog in him. If you don't put him away, he keeps fighting. He keeps coming at you with bombs, with punches, with kicks. He'll do it until the final bell." Whittaker summed it up with a clear conclusion. The biggest factor in this fight is what Khamzat does with the takedowns, because I believe, without a doubt, he gets them. The question is, what happens after that? This fight isn't just about skill, it's about endurance, heart, and who breaks first when the pressure's on. Let's shift gears to another rising name making headlines in the MMA world. While Ian Garry continues his intense training behind the scenes, another fighter is stepping into the spotlight with bold claims. We're talking about Silva, a talented prospect who's been making waves, and this time, he's calling out none other than the UFC featherweight champion, Ilia Taporia. In a recent video posted on his YouTube channel, Silva didn't hold back. He openly declared, "I did better than you." The comment was directed at Taporia, and it stemmed from Silva's recent experience helping Charles Oliveira prepare for his fight against Ilia. Silva's confidence didn't come from nowhere. He believes he has concrete evidence to back it up. Silva pointed to Taporia's past performances, specifically his bout against Bryce Mitchell, and compared them to his own. Taporia fought Bryce Mitchell, and it was a fight. He got hit, he got dizzy, he got knocked down. That happened in the UFC already, Silva said, but I haven't. Now, how long did my fight last against Bryce Mitchell? How many punches did he land on me? While Silva hasn't faced Bryce yet in the octagon, he's clearly making a hypothetical comparison based on their respective styles and defensive ability. He then addressed Taporia's own strengths, acknowledging his success, but insisting that he's not trying to trash talk. Even in the fights Taporia won by knockout, how long did they last? He asked rhetorically. In my case, there wasn't even a fight, not because my opponents suck, but because I study a lot. Silva emphasized that his confidence doesn't come from arrogance, but from observation and preparation. If he wants to know where I get this confidence from, it's from his fights. I'm not talking trash. I know he's successful, but I'm copying what works and adapting it. I'm doing that with Taporia. He went on to break down Taporia's tendencies in the cage with incredible detail. I can do everything he does. I know he walks and hides his back foot to throw the straight or the cross. He's got powerful hips, but when he throws and misses a heavy hook, he turns so far he gives up his back. We saw that against Bryce Mitchell. How many times did he give up his back? Then came the psychological angle. Silva pointed out, let's be honest, Taporia doesn't believe he can lose, and that alone is a major advantage. Someone who hasn't lost in a while doesn't think he can lose. That mindset gives you a huge edge. But Silva added, if the Charles Oliveira that fought Michael Chandler shows up, he doesn't need me or anyone else. He gets it done, no problem. Still, he insisted on the value of being part of the training camp, stating, why not use every weapon around him? I'm one of those. Because I'm better than you, that's why. In closing, Silva said, I don't want to talk badly about Taporia. I just think I fight better than he does. Watch closely. He drops his hands, slips the same way. He throws a right overhand, leans back, then throws a wide left hook. Both times he got knocked down. That's why I know I can mimic him. It's no secret, just study. And if he doesn't like that, it's all good. Moving on to our next big story, Jon Jones has finally responded to the backlash he received over his recent comments about Islam Makhachev. The MMA community, especially Russian fans, were left shocked and upset after both Jones and Nate Diaz questioned Islam's standing among the sport's all-time greats. This all unfolded during filming of the new ALF reality show in Thailand, where Jones and Diaz were seen having a conversation about the lightweight division and its current king, Islam Makhachev. The issue wasn't so much that they doubted Islam's skills, but rather that they felt his resume didn't yet have the depth required to place him among the greatest fighters of all time. They specifically pointed out that Islam's record includes only 4 successful title defenses in the UFC's 155-pound division, a number that, while impressive, is still modest compared to legends like Khabib Nurmagomedov, and even more so compared to multi-division champions and long-reigning title holders. This sparked a wave of criticism online, particularly from Islam's devoted fan base, many of whom are from Dagestan and Russia, where Islam is viewed as a national hero. Fans argued that Makhachev's dominance, skill level, and the manner in which he's won, including back-to-back victories over Alexander Volkanovski, make him one of the most dangerous fighters in UFC history. I feel like my comment made a lot of people upset, Jones admitted. A lot of Islam fans got upset, but what I was trying to do was translate for Nate. He speaks in a very laid-back way, with a lot of slang, and if you're not American, it might be hard to understand what he really means, so I was just trying to help with that. But Jones didn't backtrack completely. He stood by his original point that Islam, while incredibly talented, is still relatively new in the eyes of MMA history. At the same time, he continued, me saying that Islam is an up-and-coming fighter, when it comes from me, I can say that. Not many people can. I can. Jones emphasized that this wasn't meant as an insult. In fact, he sees Islam as someone with the potential to one day be remembered as one of the best, but he's not ready to put him in the GOAT conversation just yet. He's doing amazing things, Jones said, but greatness takes time. It takes a long road, beating great fighters, defending your belt over and over. That's what we're talking about here. It's a nuanced debate, and while some fans may not agree, Jon Jones is standing firm, offering both respect and realism when it comes to assessing Islam Makhachev's growing legacy. Now let's move on to another hot topic that's heating up the MMA world. Jack Della Maddalena has made his official prediction for the highly anticipated clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis at UFC 319, and let's just say, his take might surprise a lot of fans. During a recent media appearance, Jack was asked who he thinks will come out on top in this intense middleweight showdown. His answer, short, confident, and refreshingly honest. That's a tough one, Jack admitted. I think a lot of people are counting out Dricus, and in the past, he's always been the guy people count out, but he always shows up. I think Dricus will win. It might have been a brief prediction, but it spoke volumes. Coming from someone who knows what it feels like to go to war inside the octagon, Jack's belief in Dricus isn't just a casual guess. It's based on what he's seen and respected from the South African fighter's consistent performances. Many in the MMA community have already pegged Khamzat Chimaev as the clear favorite, and it's not hard to see why. He's undefeated, possesses elite wrestling, explosive power, and brings relentless pressure every time he steps into the cage. With a resume filled with dominant wins and a reputation for steamrolling opponents, Khamzat has built an aura that intimidates even the toughest fighters. But Jack Della Maddalena is here to remind everyone not to overlook what Dricus Du Plessis brings to the table. Dricus has built his own reputation, not by hype, but by consistently proving doubters wrong. Whether it was against Robert Whittaker, Derek Brunson, or Brad Tavares, Dricus has managed to walk into every fight as the underdog and walk out with the victory. Jack's reasoning is simple but powerful. He sees in Dricus a fighter who thrives under pressure, someone who gets better the deeper the fight goes, and who knows how to weather the storm. He's been in tough spots, but he finds a way to dig deep, regroup, and come back even stronger. That kind of grit is something you can't teach, and it's what makes Jack believe Dricus can pull off what many might consider an upset. The fight at UFC 319 promises to be a battle of styles. Khamzat will likely look to close the distance early, smother Dricus with pressure, and try to impose his will with takedowns. But if Dricus can survive the early onslaught, the later rounds could start tilting in his favor. That's where Jack believes Dricus shines the brightest. So while the betting odds may favor Khamzat and the analysts may hype his dominance, Jack Della Maddalena is betting on heart. He's putting his money on the fighter who's made a career out of defying expectations. We'll see if that prediction holds up when the cage door closes at UFC 319. One thing is for sure, this is a fight you don't want to miss. Now for the next headline, Tom Aspinall says he understands why Jon Jones is scared to fight him. While Aspinall has made it no secret that he wants to face Jon Jones and unify the heavyweight titles, he recently admitted that he sees things from Jones's point of view. Still, at the end of the day, Aspinall's ultimate goal is simple: wrap that undisputed UFC heavyweight title around his waist. In a recent conversation on Demetrius Johnson's YouTube channel, Aspinall was asked whether Jon's hesitation to accept the fight was about money or fear, and his answer revealed more than just the usual call-out. He said, "I can tell you some stuff about the money situation, but I'm not sure I can say it on camera." He then added, "I think I'm a bad matchup for Jon Jones, to be honest, and I think he knows it. I completely get his point of view. I understand what everyone is saying. I just want the title. That's it. Nothing else really matters." This back and forth drama with Jones has turned into an emotional roller coaster for Aspinall, who said the waiting game has been more mentally challenging than any injury he's faced, and that includes the knee injury that sidelined him for months. "I've been almost a year inactive with no real prospects, just waiting," he said. That's been more mentally challenging than the injury. Back then, I always had a goal to look forward to. Doctors would say, in 2 weeks, you can do this. In 2 months, you can start grappling. I had many goals to keep me focused. But now, it's just stay ready, and we'll let you know. That's hard. Mentally, that's tough. But this whole Jon Jones situation, that's the real fight. It's not just what happens inside the octagon, that's just part of it. This right here, staying sharp, staying motivated without a clear path, this is the real battle. And I'm trying my best, but it's hard sometimes. Meanwhile, Jon Jones recently sent mixed signals about his future. He told Camille Gods earlier in the week that he was done fighting, leading many to believe that the Aspinall fight may never happen. But just days later, Jones posted something cryptic on Instagram, a video of an aggressive dog getting humbled by another dog that came out of nowhere. His caption read, "What I feel like returning to the UFC after some much needed downtime." So is Jones actually retired, or is he teasing a comeback? That's the million-dollar question. With no official confirmation from the UFC and both fighters waiting on news, fans are left wondering if this long brewing showdown will ever materialize. One thing is clear, Aspinall is staying ready. Whether Jon Jones signs the contract or not, Tom has made it clear he's not backing down. He just wants his shot at undisputed gold.